What's up, folks? This is Joe, the 50 something Dasher, with another video here in my filthy W2 shirt. So, haven't been doing much dashing. I've only done one dash this whole January so far, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I've been the certain situations, things falling into place at my W2 to where I'm getting all kinds of extra days, extra hours there. So um, so don't have any DoorDash recaps to do, obviously. So that's why I'm, coming up with some other videos to do right now. And I mentioned this was probably a couple weeks ago, I talked about in a couple videos that there was going to be a video coming up, this video right here, where there was either going to be a major blockbuster announcement or it was just going to be another video. And I'm sorry to say that as of right now, this is just another video. I'm sorry to say. This video, I'm going to cover my experience with my attempts to try as best I can to get on the DoorDash Community Council. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the council, and I've talked about this before in other videos, how DoorDash um, regularly sends out these informational emails. Different, sometimes they'll send out coupons for their store. They'll send out little newsletters, informational email. I read through all these different emails. Some dashers might block all the DoorDash emails, maybe, or just, as soon as they see something from DoorDash, just, put it in their trash bin or whatever. But I read through these. And so I read back in April for the first time, I learned about the DoorDash Council. And basically, if you're not already familiar with it, they select probably about 8 to 12 dashers, something like that. And they do this twice a year. So they go through this process. They select, like I said, I don't know, it's probably like 8 to 12 people who serve like a 6-month term on this council. And there's certain benefits that you receive for getting selected to this, and there's also certain requirements and all this and that. And most of this is you can just do a search on DoorDash Community Council and hit search, and you'll find the page where it talks about what you receive if you're selected to this. And it talks about it like a welcome kit where they give you like a hot bag, catering bag, and some apparel or whatever, and a couple other things. But the biggest thing that you get, the biggest benefit, is lifetime top dasher status, lifetime top dasher, and lifetime large order program. And so, I'm assuming that you get on the council, then you receive those lifetime benefits. I'm just assuming here that your acceptance rate would not matter anymore. That every month you could go, 10% acceptance rate and still be a top dasher because of that lifetime benefit. Um, that's just my guess. And I would also venture to guess that I've heard other gig tubers before in the past talk about the really picky dashers out there. If they just decline, 20 declines in a row, at some point the system will end your dash because you're just not taking anything. So why even have you on there? So I would just imagine that even if you were a lifetime top dasher, still, if you declined 15, 20 offers in a row, it would probably kick you off. But you're a lifetime top dasher, so you should just be able to get like right back on. I don't know for sure because I haven't been selected, obviously, so I don't know. And as far as the requirements, just the biggest thing as far as that goes is each month you have to attend, and it's over like a Zoom conference call type of thing. Once a month, you have to attend like, I think they said it's about 45 minutes to an hour session on Zoom. And the last information I received that was usually done on like a Tuesday afternoon, and you have to be available for that. So that's the only thing. And it's a way for dashers who are selected for this. It's a forum that puts you in contact with different people, the powers that be at DoorDash, and you get to submit different ideas that you have for improvement or change or this or that. It's like a sounding board where you present ideas, and they also talk about ideas that they may have, yada yada yada. And you're also like a part of like a testing group where, like, let's say new things get implemented, they may test it out with like DoorDash council members first, and then roll it out to a little bit bigger selection of dashers, and then just kind of go from there. So, and you would just imagine that any type of major changes, they want to. It makes sense that they would want to slowly roll out things and just do a few dashers at a time, and then a few markets at a time, see how it goes, and then release it to everybody. Okay, so I just to give you an idea of what to expect, if you haven't applied for this before, you may be interested. I wanted to go over kind of like my experience with the two times that I've tried to get on and what has happened like with me. So the very first time I applied was April 29th of 23. And it was about 3 weeks later, on May 21st, I got an email, and that's the thumbnail photo for this video, that said that I had progressed to round 2 of the process. Now, I don't know how many rounds there are, or I don't know any details as far as that goes. How many total people applied, and how many people did it get narrowed down to for round 2, or I have no idea. But I made it to round 2, for whatever that's worth. And I should also mention that the people they select, this is for dashers across the world, not just United States. So if you get selected to this, pretty big deal, because you're being selected from all the dashers from around the world wherever DoorDash operates. So anyway, I got that email on May 21st, and then after that, I was just ghosted. So just never heard anything back after that. And then so that would have been for second half 2023. So that would have been whoever served from, I guess it would be July through December of 2023. Now, I just, after that, I continued to watch my emails, and then this past October 30th is when I applied for first term 2024, so January through June. Applied on October 30th. Never received any kind of email that, like the round two email that I received for the previous session. Didn't receive anything like that. Never heard anything until December 19th. And this time I actually got a text message from somebody and saying that, hey, this is well, they didn't even say what their name was in the text, but hey, this is DoorDash letting you know that you are a semi-finalist for the DoorDash Council, and can we set up a time for a phone call to answer for you to answer a few questions? It's like, heck yeah, absolutely. So I responded back. That was on a Tuesday. And the following Friday is when my interview was. We set that up. He actually called it was about an hour and a half early. I was actually shooting a video for this channel when the phone rang. It scared me. But so anyway, I did the little interview. And it was pretty straightforward. First, just asked me a little bit about my background, how I got into DoorDash driving and my situation, everything. And he's pretty impressed with my answer. I talked about how during COVID, like 2020 and 2021, I was making really, really good money with my W-2. And then 2022, the nosedive. And my income just got shot. And then later, I took a transfer and a pay cut on my hourly rate, and things got even worse, and hours got even worse. And then in comes my idea to drive with DoorDash, not really expecting much, thinking that I was going to make maybe a couple $100 a month, something like that. And then but as I got into it and got better at it and got used to it and everything and dash more and everything, well then I had goals of like 400 a week. So I started making 8 times what my initial goal was starting out. All right, so sorry about that. That was my wife calling on her lunch break. So anyway, yeah, and like I said, he seemed impressed with that story that I was struggling, and I thought of turning to DoorDash, and I did, and really thrived doing that, and it was I mean, that was just a game changer for my family to be able to supplement missing income from my W-2 and even go beyond my expectations the way I did. So, um, and I really feel like for something like this, there kind of needs to be a good story to. I could be wrong, but it just feels to me like that anybody that would get selected to something like this, there kind of needs to be a good story behind um, their dashing experience or something along those lines. I would think, but like I said, I could be wrong. And then so I went over my background, and then the question of why my interest in the council and what I felt I could offer to it. And I just talked about how after I got started out and got more and more experience with dashing, and there's just certain things here and there that different ideas that I've come up with as I've gone along that I'm like, yeah, I wish I could, present somebody this idea. I think this would be a good positive change. And I talked about how I have different ideas on different aspects of dashing. I mean, I've already talked about in past videos my ideas for what they could change about customer ratings. I've got ideas about shopping orders, different things like that. I'll probably at some point, I haven't done this yet, but I'd like to make an actual list out of some of the different ideas that I have for whenever the time comes. I can, hopefully one of these days present the ideas to somebody. But I think I've come up with some pretty good things to suggest, and I would be a good fit for this council. I really think that I would be. And then from there, it was mainly just two, those two questions, and then he kind of went over like the expectations about just reminded me that I had to be available once a month for that meeting, and what am I okay with that? And I just had to confirm a couple things, so a couple, the requirements, and then the floor was open if I wanted to ask any questions. And I might have asked about like when the start date was, like January 1st. Would that be the start of the term? And he said he didn't know. He'd have to check in on that. And I asked another question. I can't remember what that was right offhand. Um, I can't remember that. Oh, I know what it was. I asked if there be any travel involved, because if you go on the website and you look at the information about the council, you see a picture, like a group photo of a past uh, group of council members for whatever term that was, however many years ago. And so I asked if there would be travel, like if all of the people would get together and like in that picture. And he said, no, they don't do that anymore. It's probably, it's especially like after COVID, I would imagine. And also the fact that now the council members come from like around the world. So that'd be a little bit, it's, back when that picture was taken, they didn't operate in nearly as wide of an area as what they do now. So it makes it more difficult to do something like that. And so, like I said, that was the 22nd, and I was told that the interviews, like he did with me, that was continuing for another week. So December 29th would wrap up the interviews, and then the selection would happen soon after that. And I was hoping to find out something one way or the other the following week. And uh, so Monday goes by, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the whole week goes by, and I don't hear anything. And so in that, I had already told myself in that event, then the following Monday, I was going to reach back out, respond to the recent text messages, and just ask, for a status, hey, am I still in the running here? Has it already been, selection already closed down? Or, so I sent that message out um, yesterday, and and then he just responded like, I don't know, hour later, and said that he hadn't heard anything back from anybody, and if he does, he'll let me know. And so I don't know. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and guess that I wasn't selected. I just have a feeling that I'm not going to hear anything back. So that's just what my gut is telling me. Um, I know my wife made the comment the other day. She's like, well, you would think that they would get back with people like one way or the other on something like this. And I said, well, yeah, I mean, you would hope so, but I don't look at this any different than like when you do job interviews. I mean, and there was there was a time frame, a couple years time period where I must have put out like 500,000 job applications trying to utilize my college degree, putting in for jobs literally coast to coast across the country. I wasn't sticking to any certain, geographical region. I was willing to go anywhere for a good paying job utilizing my degree. And I don't know how many countless interviews I gave, and probably 75-80% of the time you give an interview and then you just don't hear anything back. It's crickets. You get ghosted, whatever term you want to use. That's just the end of it after the interview. And so, you know, the it's funny, like with DoorDash, they don't send me these emails anymore, but there used to be a time period, and this would be like every week I get these emails saying that I didn't qualify for Dash Anytime based on shop and deliver orders. I didn't need that anyway because I was a top dasher. I got Dasher or Dash Anytime via being a top dasher. So I don't need it based on the shopping orders, but they would still send me an email every week. You didn't qualify based on shopping orders. You didn't qualify based on shopping orders. You didn't qualify. I get it every single week that I didn't qualify based on that. So this DoorDash Council obviously is a much bigger, huge, gigantic deal over getting Dash Anytime for a few days off of shop and deliver orders. So if I'm not selected, a simple email say, hey, unfortunately you weren't selected for first term 2024, but make sure to keep applying and yada 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 yada. But nothing. So, and like I said, I'm going to assume that you never know. Maybe the next couple days maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I hear something the next day or two, and I was selected, or I will be selected. I don't know, but assuming that doesn't happen, this is not trying to be funny here, or I'm being serious when I say this, but this is pretty devastating to me, to be honest. The fact that I was reached a level to where I was going to be given like an actual phone interview, and which seemed to go very well, and I was just really optimistic that I would get on it this time around. And with that not happening, like I said, this is crushing to me. It really is, because I was really and truly looking forward to being on this council. I think it would have been a great thing. I think I would have, like I said, I would have been a good fit for it. I've got this channel as well. I could have also gotten ideas from some of you guys, chiming in with comments, different suggestions, and I could have maybe presented some of those ideas as well it would have been a really good thing. And lifetime top dasher and all this and that. And this has been a week or so ago. I tried to look back on as far as my work career and education, career and things like this, to try to think of something that would have stood out more to me in my life than getting on this council. And to be honest, I don't think anything would have compared. I think, and hey, people may laugh when I say this, that's okay, but this is how I really and truly feel. I think getting on the DoorDash Community Council for me would have been bigger than when I graduated college and earned my bachelor degree. The council would have been a bigger deal to me than the college. My college degree isn't worth a sheet of toilet paper, to be honest. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on. Absolutely worthless. And when Biden's student loan forgiveness plan got shot down, and that now I'm on the hook for $10,000 for a degree I earned 200 years ago that I was never able to use because nobody would hire me, and totally worthless degree. My W-2. Don't even get me started on how, like, unneeded, unnecessary, unwanted of an associate I am to my W-2. I don't know what keeps me from getting fired. I mean, I'm about as worthless and unneeded as it possibly gets there. So there's no kind of accomplishment or anything, or reaching a certain level or status or like anything. I work in a type of talked about it in my very first video. I'm a warehouse worker. Just straight up, just a low life, warehouse worker. Sorry for the degrading language here, but I can't help it. But anyway, it's the type of work, and a lot of you can probably sympathize. You're probably people working in similar fields, to that, and you know what I'm talking about, where if something happens and you drop off the face of the earth, you're not missed whatsoever in this type of work. It's not anything at all like, let's say, Tom Brady leaves the New England Patriots, and then the Patriots are doomed for the next like 50 or 100 years before they ever even can sniff another Super Bowl title. It's not the same with what I do. The 50-something dasher leaves the W-2, and it's just, I'm not even, has anybody seen the 50-something dasher? And half the people wouldn't even know who I was, even probably. Yeah, that guy with the funny long hair and the glasses, and I don't know who you're talking about. I mean, life just goes on here without the guy, whoever in the heck he was. So it just, sorry for my rant and rambling here, but I'm taking it really, I'm taking it hard. I'm taking it personal, and I'm taking it hard. That's just me. It is what it is. I mean, obviously, I'll keep applying. Maybe they want to see somebody that keeps applying from term to term to term. Maybe I got to round 2 the first time, okay, and then I didn't make. Then I get to a semifinalist. Then they want to see me apply again for the next term for second half 24, and I progress even further and possibly get it then. Maybe they want to see consistency of if you keep applying from term to term, that shows that you're serious and you really want it. I forgot to mention also. Let's backtrack to the application process. I forgot to mention when you apply, there's questions with that as well. So and it's I can't remember if it was there's like it's kind of like a survey style like application kind of. You answer a couple questions and then there's a couple boxes. It's kind of similar to the interview that I had, like asking you why do you want to be on the council, or what do you think you can bring to it, or just kind of questions like that. So if you think that you may be interested in applying for this, just kind of think of things to say for this application and interview process. Think about your dashing experience. If there's anything that kind of sets you apart from the average dasher, also think about like different ideas that maybe you can bring to the table, and what makes you a good fit for the council. That's the type of thing they want to hear. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And of course, if I hear something the next couple days or whatever, obviously I'll shoot an announcement video. But if you don't see anything like that from me, then just go ahead and assume that I got ghosted once again. It is what it is. Life goes on. I'll be, like I said, I'll be disappointed, but life still goes on. Okay. We made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Watch some of my other videos. Let's get those views up. Let's get the subscriber count going here. And be safe out there driving. It's getting nasty outside. It's nasty here today, let me tell you, with the rain and sleet and everything. So just be careful. And until next time, thanks for watching.